Well, hello there. This is Michael, and I just wanted to get on YouTube and kind of talk to you a little bit. The thing of it is that in reality, what you are hearing daily about Ukraine and Russia is actually kind of a play on what the truth is. Um, if all you do is watch the TV news networks, major networks every day, and they give you all your news, and that's all you know, then you don't know it all. You only know what certain people want you to know, and that's the people who own those networks. There are producers of those networks, and they tell you everything through the anchors that they want you to know. They give you all the reporting according to what they want you to know. Um, and so, therefore, if that is your only source of information every day, if you come home from work and that's all you do is watch TV when you come home from work and you eat dinner and sit down in front of the TV for a couple hours, you watch the 6 o'clock news networks, CNN, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, all those ones that are the common ones, and the ones on cable. Your likelihood are missing out on really what is really going on as far as Russia and the so-called invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine, to start with, has a very, very long history, and with Russia too. The Russian people have been a big part of Ukraine and actually have lived there. And actually, Ukraine has a great deal of people who speak Russian because that's what their background is. Um, there are people who love living in Ukraine. There's people who don't like living in Ukraine. There are the presidents have changed occasionally, and some of the presidents have been all right. Some of the presidents of Ukraine have not been all right. The current president is pretty much an actor. His background is in acting. Therefore, he's apropos to be the same type of situation as a lot of leaders are today. Uh, they have the backing of Hollywood. They have the backing of the media. They have a backing of all the things they need in order to put on a show that convinces people that they are something that they're not, and the situation with them is something they're not for their gain. And the leader of Ukraine right now is a young guy who is an actor. He's a dancer. You can find videos of him everywhere. You can see all his acting stuff right online. It's not hidden. But his biggest acting role he's ever had is the role that he's playing as the leader of Kiev now. I'm sorry, of Ukraine now. I said Kiev. But anyway, the whole crux of this whole conversation is to let you know that what you're hearing about Russia and the reason that they're gone into Ukraine now is not what the truth is of the matter. It has to do with their history, and it has to do with what's needing to be done in order to prevent a lot of really bad things to happen. Um, Putin's not a dummy. I don't think any leader that has ever met Putin would ever tell you that he's a dummy or that he's a bad, evil guy that just wants the worst of everything. He was actually uh, he was actually a great thing that happened in Russia, a great leader that came in and made things a lot different. Uh, it's not perfect in Russia because they have some ideologies that are quite frankly are just not good for the natural person. But most people in Russia would tell you that uh, they're glad to have Putin as their leader. Some factions would say no, they're not, but it's the same here in this country and everywhere. Some people don't like their presidents, some people do, and both of them have strong, strong feelings about what all of that. So let me just tell you that in the history uh, of Ukraine, there has been a situation where um, two or three of the provinces, I guess you would call them states, just like you do here, but I'm not sure. Um, these two places that we see in the news that were invaded supposedly and all that, uh, on the eastern side, eastern border of kind of the eastern southern border of uh, Ukraine. These places were um, treated very horrifically and have been treated really horrifically by the regime in Ukraine, the leadership. And they sent armies in, they've just gone down the streets at one time and shot into the houses and killed women and children and men uh, at random. They did this for a long, long time. I think they're still doing it somewhat. When they gave all the citizens supposedly guns to fight against Russia, was the big rave that they were telling everybody they were doing to make themselves look good. But actually, what they were doing is giving them cardboard guns. They were giving them fake guns. They weren't even real. And so the news played it up as, oh, they've given them all weapons to defend their country and all this altruism. But actually, that was not the truth. That was just what they wanted you to believe. And these two provinces were just liberated. Uh, uh, Putin went down and signed their liberation, gave them liberation uh, and freedom from the regime in Ukraine, and vowed to protect them in regard to that. And when they went down to the border and of Ukraine, the Russians did, and when he sent them down there, he was trying to assure their liberation. Uh, it was not to go down and take over Ukraine. If he wanted to take over Ukraine, Putin would have already done it. It would already be done. We would be looking at the after effect of the takeover, and Ukraine would now be part of Russia. But they aren't, because that's not what it's about. Okay? So don't just believe everything you say, and don't get on the bandwagon and say, oh, poor Russia. Oh, God help. Or poor Ukraine. Oh, everybody help Ukraine. Oh, pray for Ukraine. Everybody, all the churches, we're all praying for the people of Ukraine. Yeah, pray for the people of Ukraine, because they're being duped just like you are. And so let's not fall into that trap. Let's not make the enemy the good guy, and the good guy the bad guy. That's the worst thing in the world that could ever happen. And it happens quite often today, because we have the media throwing us off to the curve to the way they want us to think things are going. So I just wanted to espouse that opinion. That's just more my opinion based on the research and the knowledge of things that I've studied. Um, if you don't want to believe it, of course, it's up to you. There's no one in the world going to make you believe, except for maybe some of these regimes that are trying to do it to the people. But I'm just telling you, there is more truth than what meets your eye if all you do is listen to regular network news and Hollywood and all the people that are telling you things, because there's a lot of money behind that, and they're making a lot of money. And the old special saying there is that if you follow the money, you can see what's going on. So God bless you. Thanks.